Hello everyone and welcome back. Since you all liked the previous video, today I'm drawing again 4 scary stories. Next video will be uploaded on Tuesday, May 15th, and it will be about an animation about the true terrifying story of Elise Lam. Please leave a comment, what do you think about my next video? And I would really appreciate it if you could give me some ideas for future videos. So grab your flashlight and follow me into the darkness. My mother tried her best to keep me and my brother Miles out of the woods behind our house. It was too dangerous, she'd sigh. We could trip and fall and hurt ourselves. We could get lost. 2 little boys could get into all kinds of trouble out there. She went so far as to have an 8-foot fence around the backyard, and she padlocked its gate. For some, that may have been enough, inconvenience killing curiosity, but for me and Miles, it only made what laid beyond all the more tantalizing. It was weeks before we finally got our chance to sleep out of the front door. Mom was distracted with an overflowing toilet, and Miles looked at me with a conspirator's nod over his shoulder, signaling the time had come. We crept along the hall, down the stairs, and across the foyer, where we grabbed our hats and jackets before making a break for it. It was a cool autumn day, and the leaves scratched noisily beneath our feet as we rounded the house. We were moving fast, nervous that Mom would realize we'd disappear, and we crossed through the tree line at a near sprint. The light afternoon sun spilled through the leaves in glittering columns, casting the woods in a golden flow, and I followed Miles with a wide-eyed grin, both nervous about breaking the rules and mesmerized by this forbidden place. My big brother took the lead, carelessly stopping his way through the underbrush. We ran and climbed over fallen trees and laughed, unconcerned with the passing of time, or that Mom might become worried. We were too enveloped in our mischief. A gentle incline took us down to a stream, and we trailed along beside it for a time, pausing occasionally to skip any suitable stones we found along the way. "Do you think Mom's gonna be really mad?" I asked. For the first time since we made our escape, I'd taken a good look around, while Miles lined up another rock and realized that our house and its fence were no longer in sight. I wasn't even certain which direction we'd come from. The woods suddenly seemed so much bigger, intimidating, even, and I felt very small. Miles clapped me on my shoulder and grinned with all the confidence of a 10-year-old boy who knew he was up to no good, but was certain he could talk his way out of it. "It will be fine, Warren. We'll go back soon. She probably hasn't even noticed that we're gone." I nodded, smiling as well. If Miles said it was okay, then it had to be. And onward we went, but Miles hadn't taken into account just how far we really had wandered, or just how late it really was. We had just started talking about turning around when the sun and the temperature along with it began to sink. As the shadows began to grow around us, I grabbed Miles' hand and clenched in between my own. Usually, he never would have let me do that, but just then, he held on as tightly to me as I did to him. "Come on," he said, the bravado from earlier fading as quickly as the light around us. It's this way." We doubled back, following the stream until we reached its head again, and he started to lead me up to the slope. Behind us, twigs snapped. I wiped my head around, but I couldn't see anything in the gloom that had settled across the woods. "It's nothing," he assured me, "just a squirrel or something." I nodded, not entirely convinced, and we started to climb again. Another twig snapped, this one closer. "Miles?" I whispered nervously. "It's nothing," he said again. The crunch of leaves being crushed slowly beneath a heavy footfall sounded right behind me. I screamed, and Miles yelled for me to run. He hauled me the rest of the way up the incline and threw me in front of him, I scrambled. I found my footing and I was off. I could hear my brother, his panicked breathing, and I dared to look back at him. His face was pale. His eyes were dark, and over his shoulder, outlined against the night, something was following. Something big. I turned back around and shrieked again. My legs pumped furiously beneath me, but I still felt slow, and I kept stumbling on the uneven ground. Miles shoved me along more than once, shouting for me to go. Over our frantic cries, I could hear the thing behind us. Its dragged, deep breathing, pounding footsteps, and the smell, a cloying, rotting odor that stung my eyes and made it harder to breathe. My chest burned, my eyes stung with tears. I wanted to scream for my mother, but nothing would come out. Low-lying tree branches, invisible in the dark, clothed my clothes. If Miles hadn't been behind me, forcing me to keep going, my terror might have kept me rooted in place. I might have given up. Warren? Miles? It seemed like such a distant call, but we both recognized our mother's voice instantly. "Mommy?" I screeched. "Mommy, help!" Up ahead, still a fair distance away, I could see red and blue lights flashing through the trees. I could see the lights from the upstairs window of our house. "Mommy!" I screamed again. "Mom!" Miles joined in. "Boys!" Beams of light turned towards us, and the radio crackled. "We found them," a man's voice said. We collapsed into our mom at the edge of the woods, and all three of us fell to the ground, clinging to each other. "We are sorry," I sobbed into her shoulder. "We were being chased. Something was after us," Miles said at the same time. The cops Mom had called to look for us, who had gathered nearby and were within earshot, immediately turned their flashlights back towards the woods. They shined them slowly across the trees. Their eyes narrowed slightly, but all they found was empty forest. "Oh no," Mom breathed softly. "Mommy?" I looked up at her, and was confused by her expression, a thin-lipped, tight mask of fear. She gathered us up and half dragged us back towards the house, leaving the police still searching the darkness. "What's wrong, Mom?" Miles asked. "Why couldn't you do as I say?" she moaned. "Why can't you stay in our yard?" "We are sorry," I said. "We won't do it again." "Oh, baby." She glanced down at me. "You won't even know what you've done. It wasn't you going into the woods that was the problem." She hurried us inside and slammed the door behind us, turning the deadbolt into place before looking at us again. "It's what you let back out." Outside, just beyond our fence, the cops began to scream. When I was 11, my dad and I tried to make our own maple syrup. I don't know how he convinced me of such a project, but somehow he did. So one chilly February morning, we woke up early and went out to the large maple tree in the backyard. Setting up the tap was easy. Dad drilled the hole and we hammered the spile in together. Within minutes, clear sap was dripping into the soda bottle we attached. "Check the bottle each morning," Dad said with a smile, "and write down how much we collected." "It's the coolest project ever," I told my friend Shelby on the bus to school. It felt good to put her in her place. She was always bragging about how she lives on a farm. "Dad lets me feed the pigs and milk the cows," she would say, flipping her hair. "And he pays me for it. I basically have a job, and I am only 12. But her dad was a total weirdo. Mine was cool, and gave me cool projects to work on. Anyway, on the morning of February 27th, I approached the tree as usual, skipping in the snow, humming Walking on Sunshine through the heavy scarf around my face. I walked around to the top and peered in. I gasped. The bottle was halfway filled with dark reddish liquid, not clear sap. I ran back to the house. "Mom! Dad!" I yelled. "There's something wrong." Dad followed me out into the backyard, not looking very concerned. I don't blame him. Last time I pulled him out here, it was because I found monster footprints in the snow, also known as raccoon footprints. The syrup is dark now, I said, pointing rapidly at the bottle. What happened? Did we rain it? To this day, I don't think I've seen my dad so shocked. His face went white, matching the surrounding snow, and his mouth hung open. It's fine, he stuttered, pulling the bottle from the tree. But I'll bring it in and take a look at it. He detached the bottle and brought it inside. I followed. Go get ready for school. I'll take care of this. I am ready, he sighed. Go, get me the encyclopedia from my study, will you? As I walked down the hall, Mom's whispers to him echoed towards me. What is it? I don't know. A sharp inhale. It smells metallic-y. What do you think? I'm not sniffing that. Okay, fine. I knew this whole maple syrup was dumb. The tree is probably diseased or something. Don't let her near it. Okay, but... and get the rest of it out of our basement. I don't even have enough space for laundry anymore. I walked back into the kitchen with the encyclopedia, and they fell silent. I'll drive you to school, Mom said, grabbing her keys and shooting a glare at Dad. When I got home, they seemed even more stressed. Michaela, Dad said, sitting me down. Don't go near the tree, okay? Why? Just don't, okay? Apparently, my dad did not understand the concept of forbidden fruit. Now that he said it, I had to go back to the tree. So after my parents went to bed that night, I snuck out of my room, grabbed a flashlight, and ran into the backyard. It was bitterly cold, and the icy wind blew through my pajamas, but I soldiered forward until I was standing underneath a maple. As the beam of light fell over it, I saw a long red streak staining the bark, emanating from the spile, as if it were bleeding. I touched my fingers to it. They came away wet and red, and a chill coursed through my body. Blood? Is that what the dark stuff was? I walked around the tree, my flashlight bouncing off the bark. As I did, I realized there was a deep crack that ran horizontally across it, but it was too long, too perfect to be a natural crack. The bark shifted and jiggled. I jabbed my fingernails in it and pulled until a large panel of bark fell away. It hit the snow with a dull thump, and I screamed. Stuffed into a cavity of the trunk, still and lifeless, was the carcass of a pig, and in its belly was a small hole where the spile had been attached. I leaped back from the tree, screaming. The beam of my flashlight caught on the snow, and in it there was a fresh set of footprints leading up to the tree, but none leading away. I sprinted across the snow. I locked the door behind me, and then I glanced out of the window. In the darkness, I could make out a shadow climbing down from the branches of the maple tree. In the 7 years since Clifford passed away, it's been this job that kept me sane. It's the routine, waking up at 5 a.m. every day, hitting every stop on time, getting the kids to school, and back home through traffic. I'm good at my job, never lost a kid, never been in an accident. I used to be able to say I never missed a stop, right up until the last Monday. I was thinking about how it would have been our anniversary next week. I mean, Clifford and I could have been gotten married. Not then, not with his wife still around, but next week, and it wouldn't have been 10 years since the day we met. I just let the kids off of the last stop when my thoughts were broken by a young voice from the back of the bus. Miss, driver? It was one of the 3 kids in the back, the kids from Willow Street, the second to last stop. I was sure I had stopped there, dropped them off. My thoughts drifted back to Clifford. Damn it. I swallowed my pride and went back 2 stops to let the kids off. I needed to stay focused on my job. No more sleep-ups. I don't usually make mistakes like that. Then Tuesday, it happens again. I let the kids from Adams Lane, only to realize the kids from Bloomington are still on board. I double back. I take a deep breath. This job is your sanity. It's been 7 years. I have to move on. Just think about the kids. I look up at the mirror. It's the kids from Adams Lane. They're still on the bus. I'd made it to Adams before going back to Bloomington. I had been sure of it. Had I not let the kids off? That was Tuesday. I wish it was still like that. Today's so much worse. I keep parking by the various stops, and every time I remember letting the kids off. I start driving. I get to the next stop. I remember letting another batch of them off. I look back up, and they're all still on the bus. Every single one of them. Most of them are crying now. 1 or 2 have managed to fall asleep. The rest have started screaming. When I stop now, when I drive off, I have a clear memory of them rushing off, running through the open bus door, happy to get away. When I drive off, they're back on board, crying, screaming like they never got off. It's been more than 10 hours now. It's so dark outside. I have not seen a car on the road for hours. My supervisor called around 8 p.m. He didn't seem to care about the kids. He was just wondering why I had not brought the bus back. I was sure their parents would call the police by now. Pat, what's going on? Where's the damn bus? You were supposed to come back in an hour ago. I'm tired of waiting for you. He threatened to call the police if I didn't show up. I have tried calling him again, but he won't pick up. I want someone to call the police. I want this all to be over now. I keep daydreaming about Clifford, about the accident, about his red Mustang, the mangled mess of flesh and metal, how everything was everywhere, how he was everywhere. They never even found part of his wife's rib cage. I stop at Neely Street. I follow the kids. I get off the bus to follow them, and I blink. I'm back in my seat. They're back in their seats. I open the doors again. I let them out. I follow. I get as far as seeing one kid reach to the front door, tears and snot running down his small face. I blink again. The next time, I walk slowly. I blink each eye by itself. I follow the kid home again. I can see his door open. He stumbles inside. It closes. All the lights are off. I can't hear any voices coming from inside the house. I let both my eyes blink at once. I grab the emergency axe from the back of the bus and follow the kid home again. It's hard to break a door down without blinking. It takes 2 or 3 tries. The kid's on the floor, like a rag doll, except there isn't just one of him. It's a pile of hims. I can see 2 women, I'm guessing his moms, in the kitchen. They're going about their day. It's like it's just the afternoon for them, going about their business in a pitch-black house. I let myself blink again. I don't know how long it's been. My watch has stopped working. Nothing changes. The kids cry. None of them are sleeping anymore. Some of them have soiled themselves. They keep asking why I am doing this. I am not. I see a car pass by on the road. It's like a name jumps into my head and whispers a thought into my mind. Swerve. It'll all be over now. Just swerve. I can see its details as we are about to collide. It's a red Mustang. As the metal of the bus meets the metal of the car, I can see the driver. He is stiff, still, his eyes fixed forward like a statue. His wife is in the passenger seat. Her chest has a gaping hole in it. It's a near miss. I hit the back of his car. He keeps driving. I keep driving. I have seen him twice more now. He's looping around the same road, waiting for me. I'm writing this because I want you to know why I'm doing this. Someone has to. I can't think of another way out. No one will pick up their phone. Whenever I try calling 911, I just get radio static. I can't take them anymore. The lights inside the bus, the odor of soiled children, the cries and begging. I'm going to find that car again, and I am not going to miss it this time. Hey there, and thank you so much for listening. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up. And if you like my videos and want to see more, subscribe to my channel. And I will see you all in my next video.